Okay, so I have 200,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. And right now I'm getting anywhere from 20 to 30 views per video. So I know a lot of people are probably thinking that I have like fake subscribers or something like that. But I just kind of wanted to make a video to address it and just talk about like what's going on because I think that I made some mistakes early on not knowing how YouTube works and how these algorithms work. And I'm gonna share them with you so that you don't have to fix them. Like whilst I go through it and I learn from these mistakes, I'm telling you now so you don't have to do this um, in the future. You really don't want to build a YouTube channel for 5 years and then end up in the situation that I'm in. Because 200,000 subscribers is not easy. It's one of the hardest challenges I've ever done or had. And getting there was like this big moment. It was super exciting. I was extremely happy about it. And then, there's a huge drop off because I had to change all my content. And now I've got a mismatch audience and it's completely avoidable. So, the one thing I would tell you, the first thing I'll tell you is pick your audience and don't change your audience to something drastic. Um, Especially after you've gotten momentum going. If you're doing like artwork, you don't want to then suddenly move over to basketball. If you're doing basketball, you don't want to suddenly move over to, I don't know, politics or something just totally, unrelated. Because when you change the audiences that much, what happens, YouTube will get the wrong signals. Your click through rate is going to go down, and then your views are going to go way down. So it's better to have a clear audience for each YouTube channel and stick with that audience. And if you want a new audience for a YouTube channel, start a new YouTube channel. Don't do it on the same one. Because those signals will mess up the algorithm for you and your views will go way down. My understanding is that after a while, the new audience will take over and then YouTube will start pushing your videos out to the right audience. But it does take a long time. So basically what I did with this channel was for about 5 years, I was doing just all different kinds of videos, never really thought twice about it. And then I started doing these like faceless shorts, these reactions, and they were going really, really well. I was getting like, at least anywhere from 10 to 50 or 100,000 views per video. And that's when, I started to see my engagement go up. And after a little while doing that, it was, I'd say about 5 or 6 months, I got my first like completely viral video. One video got pushed out so much, it got like over 100 million views in 2 or 3 weeks. And for the next 4 or 5 months, it then ended up getting like 400 million views. And all my other videos were doing pretty well as well. I was getting like 1 million views per day, 2 million views per day. And that lasted for about, I'd say, 6 to 8 months. Now, I started doing long form of me reacting to stories around the internet. And the difference, when you make a short form audience, they will not watch your long form videos. You can ask, there's a super famous creator, Frankie Lapp, right? If you go look at his channel now, I think he's got like 8 million subscribers, like a ridiculous amount of subscribers. And he started doing long form and he was getting much less than he thought, he would get because he had so many subscribers. He ended up having to start a whole new channel for his vlogs, for his long form content. So what I would tell you is just don't make the mistake of thinking like if I make one audience, I can transition later. It really is hard to do that. Once you have a bunch of subscribers and the videos are getting pushed out to them every time, the audience is going to be mismatched. It's just not always going to, it's not always just going to correct itself, especially not right away. My click-through rates, when I first started doing long form, because I hadn't done any long form, I was only doing shorts. And when I first started doing long form, my click-through rates, my videos, first of all, were like compilation videos. But then I got a notification from YouTube, and they were like, well, you can do compilations and you can do voiceover of that, but there's a good possibility you'll get like community guideline violations and things like that. So I ended up, I had to stop doing those, and I had to start showing my face to do the reaction videos. And when I started doing that, my click-through rates went down because I could only do like one video per each compilation. It wasn't like a compilation of just back-to-back videos with a voiceover, you know, kind of like Daily Dose of Internet. It was more like just one story, and it's a completely different format. It's kind of like Penguin Z0 or Charlie, the streamer. You know, he doesn't do shorts at all, you know, and then you look at like other streamers like Asmongold, he does a lot of reactions to stories around the internet, but no shorts at all. So you have to be careful about having mismatched audiences. And even if it is the same kind of content, short form and long form are basically like two different audiences in and of themselves. So you have to be very careful about that. And so yeah, I mean, that would be my number one big piece of advice is just don't start off with one audience thinking you're going to change it later. You definitely don't want to change niches, and you don't want to just do like long form and think you're going to do shorts later, or do shorts and think you're going to do long form later. It's really more of a thing like if you really get your long form going well, you can do shorts to add extra exposure. But if you do shorts and you get shorts going really well, it's not going to translate over to long form success. It's just not going to happen. It's not. I've seen it in real time. I'm seeing it in real time. Like the channel you're watching this video on right now has 210,000 subscribers at the time of filming this video. And that is going to go way down. I'm already sure that that's going to go probably to at least 205, if not lower. I might drop under 200,000 by the end of this year. So please be careful. Be very careful about making videos that are in the same category and making the same type of video, whether it be shorts or long form. Don't think that you're just going to go from one to the other. You know, start with shorts and stay with shorts, and maybe make two channels. You know, do shorts and just stick with that, and have another channel for long form and just stick with that. Or you can have the hybrid, but you probably want to start with long form if you're doing a hybrid. And with the hybrid channels, I'll say this. The views that you get are much lower on shorts with a hybrid channel than from any of the ones that I've seen than with a shorts only channel. There's a channel, I forgot his name, but he used to work for ESPN, and he does reaction shorts, faceless reaction shorts. And his faceless reaction shorts, I think it's all shorts, no long form. And I think altogether, I want to say he's got like 35 billion views or something like that. It's a ridiculous amount of shorts. I want to say it's Dylan Anderson. I think it's Dylan Anderson. I can actually just look that up in real time. Let's see. Yeah. I think it's Dylan Anderson. Dylan Anderson. Yep, that's him. Dylan Anderson, 14.7 million subscribers. It's all shorts, no long form. And let's see how many views. 35,672,000,000 views. That's awesome. Good for him. But no long form. There's no mixed signals. So I think it's really, really important to have a clear signal. Either shorts or long form, you know, one or the other, but don't mix it up too much. So that's probably the extent of my advice there. And then obviously categories. But, you know, just keep plugging away at it. It does take off at some point. You just never know when it's going to happen. I was posting, I think, for 4 or 5 years before I had that 100 million view video. And then from then on, I was getting, sometimes I was getting, I think the most I had in 48 hours was like, I want to say it was like 35 or 40 million views in 48 hours on on that short that went viral. So it can and will happen for you. I'm just some random guy. Like I'm not connected to YouTube. I'm not connected to anybody, in the algorithm. I don't know anything about the algorithm. Like I am just some guy who started uploading shorts, and I got 500 million views in less than 6 months. So you can and will do it. You just have to keep posting, and go for it. But be careful about audiences. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Just put them down in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. But besides that, have a good day.